that have accepted our invitation to come and talk to
of citizens of Kebbi State on a sustainable basis. This is why we're here. And it is about how to spare livelihoods and how to create, therefore, opportunities and institutions that will ensure that beyond electoral cycles, Kebbi continues to be a star in the Federation. And I'd like to thank the chairman of our forum because he picked the easiest task and gave to me, which is to give the keynote address. This task is the easiest because the experts have already been identified who will speak on the various aspects that need to be spoken about. Mine is to frame the discussion in terms of how the elements can connect. And because of the privilege God has given me throughout my life, to show how this connects to Nigeria and the world. Because there is no economy of Nigeria outside the economy of northern Nigeria. No economy of northern Nigeria outside a stable Nigeria. And Nigeria cannot be stable if the region within which it is located is unsafe. Therefore, the well-being of Kebbi State is very important and connected to the well-being of ourselves, our neighbors, on the continent and beyond. This is the element I want to just bring to bear because everything I'm going to say has been said. And for some reason, I was very glad. Not long ago, I saw the governor of Kebbi State going to a mining site and urging that certain actions must stop. This is important. With senior economists like Senator Namo and even our Minister of Budget and National Planning and Professors Sanda, Chika Aliu, and many other professors here. In the 70s, we used to call those places from Latin American experience enclave economies because a lot of wealth or value is brought, but the communities around them suffer. And that's why we should be very careful concerning some activities that are happening. But this is just one of the several things I want to bring to bear in our discussion today. We know very well Kebbi is a state of over 5 million people with land area of almost 47,000 kilometers square, with a variety of economic or agricultural zones. MD Magaji is here. He will give guidance on this matter. And with this population, Kebbi has therefore been blessed because a lot of people may not know there are many countries, possibly up to 50 countries in the world, that do not have as countries up to 5 million people. So 5 million people is a lot of human beings in the land area that we are talking about, with the kind of potential agriculturally that is there. So we have a tremendous luck to be in Kebbi. Now, but nothing happens if there is no effort. All these are meaningless if we do not work hard to ensure that these endowments mean something for the well-being of Kebbi and for the well-being of Nigeria at large. So, comparativists in scholarship will always say every knowledge is comparative. I will not want to go to that extent, only to agree that everybody benefits from what is happening elsewhere. Therefore, it's always good to see what is happening elsewhere. So, I have avoided in this discussion talking about what happens in Germany, in the US, and this and that. These are meaningless. Let us see what happens within the continent. Look at South Africa, look at Cameroon, look at Egypt, and we see how do you place what can be learned that is valuable for us in Nigeria and by extension, definitely Kebbi. So this is why, when I talk about Kebbi, I bring Nigeria, I bring other elements to sharpen our view, because we are connected to the world, from which we must learn. Let me talk first about what everyone instinctively talks about when we talk about Kebbi, agriculture. We know what we have in Zulu, we know what we have in Kebbi, in Yauri, in all these places. It is the lifeblood of our communities. You see, in Cameroon, let's say with Egypt, for example, with less land, Egypt produces almost 4 times the yield we receive per hectare because of utilization of knowledge and technology. We have land, but farmers are still using techniques and technologies that we should really outgrow. Cameroon has almost 40% of its labor force in agriculture, but also with limited mechanization. South Africa is more diversified. It has higher economic indices, but it also has more serious inequality than Nigeria. And inequality, as I will say later, is as dangerous as insurgency. Both can affect economic growth. In Nigeria, related to agriculture, the All Nigeria Farmers Association has always played a critical role in guiding farmers relating to seeds and seedlings, markets, and stuff like that. The same thing in Kebbi State, the same chapter, or the chapter of Afan does a lot of things that are useful to Kebbi. I will not say much about it, but it's important to recognize that this work is happening. And when we deal with Kebbi, leadership is critical. And at one time, Kebbi made a name because there was a rise of revolution. Some people thought it was a joke. It's not a joke. Kebbi rise made a name across Nigeria and beyond. This is extremely important. And what we should do is to say, okay, what can we do in those areas? Whether we are dealing with fisheries, whether we are dealing with not only fish resources, whether we are dealing with tomato paste, what we do with many other things. Orange juice that or mango juice that we bring from all kinds of places. Now, South Africa has been able to connect the smallholders to processing plants and export hubs. Export is key because foreign exchange is important. Nigeria trades with others, and therefore it's important for us to have an advantage in getting foreign exchange. We need as Kebbi to find these kinds of hubs that across the Sahel corridor can add to the incomes of people from Kebbi State. This must be done with knowledge, meaning you have to create a means whereby you know the rules and you also are connected. No, I'll finish after. No, I will not. The next frontier, of course, is value addition. This again is something that is very important. We have to simply go beyond simply raw materials. We produce onions. Do we produce onion powder that sells in the world market? So to embrace this, we need to have seeds and seedlings. We need to have techniques related to irrigation. Agriculturists here are here, but I want to say that we have a university in Aleru, we have one in Zulu. They can be tasked and should be tasked to ensure we don't depend every year on distributing of fertilizer from all kinds of places. We should produce fertilizer here. Let them lead in this production of fertilizer for our people, for our area. It's very necessary. It's very necessary. We cannot continue to depend on fertilizer from all kinds of places. Now, it's the same issue. Only last year, a lot of losses were experienced by our local farmers because of the use of wrong seedlings. If we have a serious link between research and the farmers through extension, those kind of losses suffered by our farmers for owners would not have happened. Now, security is key, and we all know this. Peace and security and prosperity are mutually reinforcing. And when there is no peace, nothing is produced of value. This one we know, the academic literature concerning how they are connected is vast. You see it in the footnote. Now, and this is important. Let us not joke with dealing with black power. Kebbi has been relatively peaceful, thank God. Let us not joke with this issue. Blame this person, he is going to come through for this. Let us deal with this issue seriously. There are experts from Kebbi who can advise on the best way to deal with this through efforts locally and through traditional institutions, through also effort of the federal government. This is absolutely important. When we can't go to schools, we can't go to hospitals, we can't trade, what happens? And it is something we have to deal with, because for now we are relatively safe, but let's not simply depend on hope. We need to work. Now, unemployment is necessary in terms of something we have to deal with as a serious matter. How unemployment connects to insecurity is something we need to deal with. I've given reasons for this. Now, I've talked about mining because this is the new sheriff in town in terms of what can bring money, what can also bring trouble. And we need to be very careful. What are the rules concerning the federal government? What is going to do? Because as older economists like Naamo, Senator here, will tell you, enclave economists create serious problems. We should make sure that we don't have an economy where people come from all kinds of parts of the world, make money, destroy the environment, and disappear. This has happened repeatedly in the experience of Latin American countries. It has happened in West African countries. What was the genesis of the problems in Liberia and Sierra Leone? Is it not these resources? Now, rural banking and financial inclusion. We cannot develop without banks. We cannot continue to have everything informal. We need banks. And to have, say, Besse without a bank is not something I'm very happy to say, but it should not happen. A friend of mine said the same in Shanghai, the same in Mahuta, and many places. I think it's very important we find means of bringing people into the formal economy, including having banks. This is necessary. However they should be structured to serve communal needs. And rural banking is important. It will reduce dependency on informal money lenders. It will reduce insecurity of carrying large sums of money across markets and stuff like that. Human capital. Now in Kebbi, when we talk about human capital development, we say the preaching to the combatant. Every kind of expertise we need is available in Kebbi. every kind is available in Kebbi. We need to deploy it very seriously and with unity. If there is division on peripheral matters, we will go nowhere. We have every expertise we need in Kebbi. Let us utilize it. There are reports from health, from agriculture, from whatever in Kebbi. We should utilize and continue to update. We do so by creating, first of all, let me clear. When we teach in Sokoto, I teach in the university in Sokoto, I've been there for a long time. We didn't teach just for Kebbi or for Sokoto. We taught for the world. We should ensure quality of our schools, whatever they are. And any issue of malpractice, Kebbi should not be part of. Let people stand on what they have achieved and defend it anyway. It's absolutely necessary. Now, we need schools, technical schools, we need more of them. We need every kind of school. We need to follow up, we need to monitor, because the most important capital is human capital. Without it, no capital is active. This we know. I'm just reminding us because I know we know. Now, I have a section concerning linking the pillars. All these are connected, but they are connected also in such a way that there is African free trade area now. This whole continental effort to link African countries is beginning to yield results. Already because of it, up to 15% more is happening in terms of trade between African countries. Now, Kebbi is in a border area. Kebbi can play an important role, develop its own international markets, have hubs, and connect to the world. And there are ways to do so, and I'm sure in the discussions this will happen. Now, Kebbi is connected to Northern Nigerian agenda. I have loaded this in the paper, and it should learn from what is happening in the north and in Nigeria at all. There is no conversation about Kebbi that is not about Northern Nigeria and Nigeria. It's very important. Kebbi is also connected to the world. We should learn from what is happening elsewhere. We should be vigilant also, because at times you can simply take things that do not work here. That is why reflection is important. Now, in the reflection section, shared responsibility, here is to say that in this forum, it's important to find workable and lasting means for Kebbi State on a continuous basis. It's very important to continue to build and nurture a leadership that is resilient, a leadership that is transparent, and a leadership that will also forge partnerships, because we need partnerships to succeed. Today's challenges, we have seen people today complain about inflation. This is a global phenomenon. People must understand we don't exist in an island. Other than one part of the world, the Nordic countries, almost every country is suffering some of the difficulties. We are complaining as if we are the only ones suffering. No. What we should do is to face our issues. We have everything we need to succeed, to even be an example. Let me conclude on the basis that there has to be collective will. Unity is absolutely necessary. Unity doesn't mean uniformity. I can disagree with you, knowing I disagree with you, but there are certain things that are fundamentally to us we must do regardless of our differences. It's absolutely necessary to have a united front to face the challenges. How can we face the challenges of Lakura now if everybody, your neighbor is your enemy? So if somebody is coming to attack him, you will not tell him, and vice versa. We need to deal with this matter in a unified way. Now, let the summit, Your Excellency, distinguished members of the forum, and all others in this forum. This summit, let it mark the renewal of our commitment, not just to growth, but to sustainable well-being of every citizen of Kebbi State and a major contributor to Nigeria's development. That is ultimately what we want to do here. We have the resources to do it, we have the people to do it. Let us simply renew our commitment. Thank you very much for the honor to speak to you.
Thank you very much.